Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and today we're going to be taking a look at these. You might be asking, what exactly are these? Well, these are some of the boxes that Lego bricks used to be packaged in individually all the way back in the day from the 1960s to the 1970s. These are some of the oldest Lego sets in my entire collection, and I actually was able to purchase them from a very special used Lego store in the Netherlands. And don't worry, an entire video dedicated to just that store is coming very soon, but for now I figured let's give a sneak preview with this mini Lego review on these many different Lego boxes. Let's go. All right, so these are truly special. So the store was selling these boxes for around 8 to 10 euros a piece, where if you check out Brinklink, they're a lot more expensive than that. And I am not exaggerating here when I say this is probably one of the greatest Lego deals or vintage hauls that I have ever gotten in my life and my entire journey of collecting Lego. So these are the containers that Lego bricks used to come in. Back in the day when Lego was first starting out, you could actually just purchase these different kind of cigarette box type containers. They all were numbered in a specific order, and you could actually purchase them as official sets, or you could use them to supplement more larger sets. So let's take a closer look here, and I probably am going to keep all the pieces inside here. Obviously, these aren't actual like sets, they're more like parts packs, but it's really interesting because each of these boxes is in pretty pristine condition, or very good condition for its age and time, and it's very rare to be able to find something like that nowadays. And the way they work is that you just pull them open, and there the parts are, just pretty much just loose sitting in there. So these, for example, were little turntables. Now, obviously, Lego's turntables do not look like these nowadays. This was the very first form of Lego turntable that they ever came out with, and this is a very interesting piece to have. Thankfully, it does come with a ton of different turntables in there, all the same color, pretty much just duplicates of the same part, but you could use these for all sorts of different applications if you wanted to purchase it yourself. What's very interesting about this box in particular is that it actually shows each of the different countries where a patent was filed for the Lego bricks. Obviously, the patent has since expired now, but if you really look up close, you can see all sorts of different countries listed, all the different places where Lego actually had a patent on their toys. Hong Kong, Switzerland, Venezuela, West Germany, all sorts of different places here, and it's really cool seeing that actually having to be listed on the boxes, because of course this was well before Lego originally had their full patent in place. Here you can see the box itself has been patented, so the way the box is set, and also it is printed in Denmark, so that is very cool here. And that is just one example of one of the many really interesting boxes that you can see here. Now this one did have a little bit of a window so you can look inside, and it does have some weathering damage to the box itself just because of how old it is. Some of them are in a little bit better condition than others, but most of the ones I got here are these standard boxes, which essentially kind of work as slide out boxes. You just slide them open here and you can see the original Lego bricks. Now, if you notice here the way that these bricks are formed, these are actually an older style of brick. They have the older Lego logo on them, and you can actually see that underneath they do not have these standard cross axles inside most Lego bricks, making the clutch power not fantastic on these. They will just fall apart basically, but it is really interesting because this was an early form of Lego brick right before they actually nailed how to get the clutch power just right. So as it is right now, they are pretty loose. They do tend to fall apart, but they do work, and the dimensions are the same as any other Lego brick. So it's kind of interesting seeing the different styles of bricks that you would get here. On the side of the box, they're kind of advertising other sorts of bricks that you can get, as well as a large garage type thing for these small cars, because again, this was still working with those very tiny cars which we saw at the beginning of the video here, like those right there. And you even see some examples of kids playing and building their own creations and stuff you could do with the bricks themselves. So setting aside these 2x2 bricks here, this is another type of box here, and this is probably my favorite one because these pieces do not actually come in trans-clear in the modern era. This style of box is fully plastic. It does have a cardboard wrapper around it, but the way this works is that you kind of slide this out like so. And this whole thing is a box. Like, this is a Lego piece right here. It's a transparent clear piece in absolutely fantastic condition. This is absolutely insane how cool this is and how clear it is, and just how it's really held up the test of time. This is just one big Lego base plate here, which you can see kind of just closes in on the box like so. And inside, you have these transparent clear Lego 2x2 tiles or plates here, which are in pristine condition. And these are really stunning to have in such good condition nowadays because, again, you don't really get these pieces in clear anymore, and this is very, very clear. It's very stunning how remarkably clear they are. And let me just kind of try to pour some of them out here so we can get access, and we'll pick up the rest later. We can get access to the instruction manual here because I actually do want to take a look at the manual itself that came with a ton of those pieces actually. That's really cool. So here we have a little bit of a manual, and it's a Lego ruler. So it's teaching you how to measure your different heights of Lego bricks and stack them so you can plan for architecture. So this is almost like a serious type of thing where you're actually supposed to be planning on how to set up a layout for some sort of a house or architecture here, and it's teaching you how each centimeter corresponds to an actual scale unit when building it in real life. That is really cool how they actually have this printed on paper. Obviously the patent is still pending there, and this is really trying to advertise what Lego is trying to do to influence early architecture with just this brick here. So very, very interesting stuff going on here. And again, really cool to get so many clear pieces in such pristine condition. I mean, just look at how good these are. Not one of them is really yellowed because of age, and the case is also in fantastic condition. I mean, absolutely remarkable to find this in such great condition nowadays. So very, very lucky to have come across the store again selling this particular type of thing. So let's kind of just get this all boxed up again. This is probably one of the nicest packaged ones, so I want to be really careful with that. Try not to break that. And there you can see it actually has some older kids, maybe like teens or preteens, who are trying to actually build some sort of an architectural layout. So that's pretty cool that they actually have some almost like marketing Lego for adults back in the day right there. Now, setting that aside, we have another similar box. This is literally the same exact thing, except it is using solid colors instead of clear. So obviously a little less interesting. I believe the pamphlet is exactly the same, but you have the exact same image of the two kids building. In fact, these two boxes are basically identical, as you can see. Obviously the back cover is a little bit different because you have a different design and the style of bricks are different, but all in all, these are technically two very, very similar sets. And I believe we have one more. Yes, right here we have the white style of plates right here. So again, you can see those patent pending logos on the bricks themselves when they catch the camera. But this is yet another one where it's just literally the same exact box as the light gray one, except it is just white instead of light gray. And they all have the same part number as well, or the same set number, which is very interesting and honestly probably pretty confusing when it comes to listing these in a database. Moving onwards from these clear containers here, we can take a look at some of the other sets where most of these, again, are the kind of slide-out boxes. You can tell by how narrow they are, so let's kind of get all the different slide-out boxes together. So, see, there are quite a lot of them, setting aside some of the thicker ones for later. I think this is all of them. So, we have a number of different things which all contain their own types of pieces. These here are some of the earliest Lego slopes. Again, as you can see, they don't have the inner kind of tubings that most normal Lego bricks have. They were just pretty much empty, which you can see here. This one didn't change too much. This is very similar to what we normally get nowadays, just with maybe a few extra cross axles in between. But then, as you can see, the bricks just work together as normal. And again, this is really just something I want to have kind of for my own collection just to keep on display. Won't really be using these bricks in any projects because it doesn't really make sense to use such vintage bricks, but it makes sense for me to keep them all together. And here you can see some clear window panes, again in stunningly good condition here. We don't get these windows again nowadays, but you have a variety of different styles of windows, different shapes. This is a 3-stud length window, which is really interesting. This is almost like a micro scale door here in the way this is set up. And then we even have a tiny little 2x2 brick with a window on it, which is a really cool, almost dual molded type of piece, where you have the white and the clear actually built in. None of these windows actually allowed you to take the glass piece out, so these were pretty much dual molded, which is really good for its time. And I love how this gives you different styles of windows. Not one type of window included in the set is the same, and they ramp up in terms of size as you continue to go on, starting off with just this 1x1 window pane right here. You can see just a tiny little bit of glass inside. I think this is my first time actually interacting with any sort of pieces like this, like these window panes, and this is probably one of my favorite things that I got from the collection here because it's my first time actually interacting with bricks like these. Moving on to here, we have just some more slopes. So this did come with a little bit of a manual. So let's kind of open that up and see what's included here. Obviously some damage here. It's a little taped together. I'm not expecting this to be in fantastic quality, and it looks like there's some dirt stains on it here, so I'm going to be a little careful with it because I don't want it to break, and I also don't want to get my hands dirty. But you can see it's advertising the different types of bricks that you could order and the different colors. These ones here are just the 1x4 slope elements here, or the, I guess, 2x4s if you want to count the 2-leg stud here. And these are very similar to the final LEGO products today, just with a slightly bumpier ridge. Zooming into here, these are not like your standard bricks because this is actually a lot rougher than you would normally expect for a LEGO slope piece. So it's interesting seeing how these kind of evolved over time. Let's just box this guy back up here, and I like how they actually did have some building examples here, which is a very nice touch. I'm going to try to box it up very carefully. Come on, let's get the camera to focus here. So there we go. And this is pretty much the exact same set as the one we saw earlier, except it seems that this one actually is featuring white bricks. Now, it's kind of interesting. I'm guessing these might not be in the right box because obviously the side of the box is showing blue bricks, but I have a ton of different white bricks in here, but that's not a big deal. It's still vintage era LEGO bricks. And of course, you even have the pamphlet on the bottom here. Let's try to get that pamphlet out without damaging it. Come on. Okay, here we go. And you can see just some very simple building inspirations here. None of these had any sort of instructions whatsoever. I suspect that this actually belongs to this one right here. I have a feeling that's where it goes, and this doesn't have a pamphlet, so I feel like that is correct in my assumption that this pamphlet actually does go with this box here. But again, really interesting to see the style that LEGO was doing to actually deliver bricks to people's homes back in the day. These are not official sets, they don't have official models, but they actually are sets in their own right in terms of being parts packs, and that is very interesting. Moving onwards, we have yet one more. These are some, hopefully, yeah, clear bricks right here. Again, wow, look at the quality of these clear bricks. This is really cool to see here. I am completely stunned by how well these have held up over time. You can still see the patent pending shining through the bottom there. Right there, you can see it says patent pending. And just look at the quality of these clear bricks. I'm almost scared to put them together. I'm scared they'll crack because of age or whatnot, but no, they are working just fine together. The clutch power is pretty strong on these, and yeah, clear bricks. That is really cool to see in great quality from this era of LEGO. Just get this all closed up here, and again, the bricks were kind of just laid out there. That is a really interesting packing strategy. Then we can move on to some of the final larger boxes here. So most of the larger boxes here are just this tab style of boxes, which also have similar manuals, which we already looked at. This one is mostly sloped, so nothing super interesting there. This one is interesting because it includes different wheels. These are the original LEGO wheels, and this actually seems to be sealed up pretty well here. I'm not certain that this... Okay, I am pretty sure this is sealed. Yeah, this... Okay, I am not opening this. I did not realize this was sealed when I bought it. Wow, this is sealed. Okay, I think... Yeah, this is... I can't get this open. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this is fully sealed. That is something truly stunning to see. But you can see the metal axles for the wheels and the rubber tires there. A very interesting design that we haven't really seen again since the early days of LEGO. And you can even see some text saying to use it with the LEGO motors. So you can use this with LEGO motors. Did not know that was sealed. Wow. There you go. Over here we have another box, yeah, this one's definitely opened, where you have just some of these standard 2x3 bricks, but no, wait, these are not just standard bricks, because again, these are the vintage style of bricks with the older LEGO logo here, you can tell by the special style of logo, and the way it says patent pending on the inside of the brick. So these are era-appropriate bricks, and again, very, very cool to get these in their original boxes, where I've never seen these boxes, again, in such good condition. I don't think I've ever even encountered these boxes in my life before until now. So I knew they existed, just never really came across them. So that is something that is really cool. Moving onwards, we have some more kind of smaller bricks here. Let's see if we can get this open like so. Yep, there we go. And these are just these standard tiles, but again, you can notice that these are not like your standard LEGO pieces. They instead have this little nub in the middle of them, which really makes them completely unique and sets them apart from the current modern LEGO bricks.
That being said, the clutch power is fantastic. They work really well together, and I guess LEGO just changed it because presumably the little tiny bit of plastic in the center was a little bit less fragile, or I guess a little bit more fragile than it should have been compared to the modern LEGO bricks. But that is really cool to see so many different vintage bricks just sitting in there. Moving onwards from there, we have some more stuff to see here. So this right here is another set of wheels. Thankfully, this is open, so we can open this up and take a look at what is included here. Just a ton of different wheels. These are a little bit beat up and dirty, but obviously these are very weathered and thankfully very played with, which means that some kids got a lot of enjoyment out of this, which is obviously the goal with LEGO. You can really see the different styles of rubber here as well, which is very interesting, kind of seeing how they also kind of deteriorated over time. Finally, here we have another one of the boxes, which seems to be 2x3 plates. So let's open it up, and these are pretty much standard. Honestly, this is the closest thing that you would see to a standard LEGO brick today. I don't really detect any changes, so that is what it is. Finally, we just have a few more boxes here of the clear windowed boxes. This has a bunch of different LEGO base plates or tiled stuff in it, which is interesting to see. Let me try to... Oh, is this... let's see. Is this also sealed? I think this is also sealed because this has not been opened. So as you can see here, this is still fully sealed. So hooray, I am not going to be opening this anytime soon. So that's very cool. Finally, we have some more boxes here, and I believe these are opened. Let's see. This looks like it's open. Yeah. So this is opened, but you can see these standard LEGO 2x4 bricks. Really just basic stuff. I really kind of just bought these for the boxes themselves because it's really interesting seeing how these all had the same set number, but were all different colors of bricks. But that about sums up this pile of classic LEGO boxes. Again, these honestly belong in a museum. I am hoping to one day open a LEGO museum, so these are absolutely going in storage until that day comes. Maybe I'll have some on display on a shelf in my collection, but I absolutely am going to keep these as pristine as possible. Very, very special to have come across these, and I'm so lucky to have been able to own these.
And with that, we've summed up our mini review on these special LEGO custom boxes that really were the only way to get specialized pieces back in the day. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these boxes? Do you own any? Have you seen them before? And do you wish LEGO still would do stuff like this today? Of course, stay tuned for even more mini reviews coming on a regular basis, and definitely stay tuned to a very special video coming out very soon of the store where I got these from. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye-bye for now.